Thank you for the introduction. Welcome, everybody. So tonight we're going to be presenting EmptyCoruna. This is a research project which we conducted in Coruña in Spain. We're going to be talking about this project, the case study that came out of it, and we'll finish off with a couple of points in which we'd like to suggest how we can move forward with a new generation of thinking about architecture and education. So basically, as you all know, architecture and academia, they're increasingly limited in influencing the built environment. Also then retreating from visible positions on the public good. We think there is something in there which we can start to use the design process to flesh out a new position for architecture, especially through academia. So as you know, when you're looking around the cities, you see that other actors are taking our places, the architects' places, to kind of propose new ways of organizing spaces, new ways of living together. And these are being verified by the kind of sharing and new value systems which are being proposed and taken up. And this is something that we've been looking at, and we understand here that if architects can look at that, we can start to extract from some of these good practices which are happening through kind of real world enterprises. And there lies a couple of clues in where architecture and academia, including the design studio, can be used to kind of refigure how architecture is being taught and then implemented. So we think here that we have the design studio as the perfect platform for doing this. We bring together a lot of different actors. We can analyze, we can design, and we can actually build in these emerging contexts if we're aware of them. So what we're trying to do now here is to design a design research project or methodology, and we base this around some of the earlier work from Bruno Latour. So it's about looking at the world, looking at architecture as a process, looking at the objects and looking at the actors which actually shape and make this built environment. If we look closely, there are clues in which architecture can extract from that and bring it back into our own process, in which we can then work towards finding out more about the relationships of people, the relationships of the built environment, look at the deficits, and also identify some of the potentials which then we can act on and start to build kind of alternative narratives for how architecture can work and how it can actually offer a greater benefit for society. So we're calling this action network modeling, and we built a website for this, and it's a very simple system. It's a design process, it's a creative process, and this is something which we submitted as to the new gens. We think it's something which we would like to take forward. But a case study in point was the work we did in Coruña in Spain back in 2018.
Exactly. Thanks, Scott. So in 2018, we tested this new methodology that we feel is relevant to the new generation of architects. Coruña was devastated by the financial crisis, has a large building stock that is abandoned, and at the same time, a large part of the population who lacks adequate housing. What we did is we created an action network. We brought actors together, local actors. The Coruña City Council was funding us. Our main partner was the architecture department of the University of Coruña, who started to use their network to create a research project, a summer school, and citizen forums. So with these action networks, all these local actors together, we started to map the objects, right? We had student volunteers that mapped 1,500 abandoned buildings into 7 typologies. And at the same time, sociologists from the sociology department who mapped the actors, who made filmed interviews with people affected by the crisis. We started with this research through all the departments of the university. We believe the new generation of architects has to be transdisciplinary. So we brought in the departments of economy, law, engineering, sociology, ecology. We brought in bankers, real estate agents, activist groups, and even citizens. We wanted to bring everybody to the studio. That's where we can make a change. It all came in September 2018 to a bit of a high point. We made a summer school with 25 students, but not just architecture. We had architecture students, sociology students, law, economy, politics, art. We brought all of them together in an architectural studio format in the public spaces of Coruña and in the empty buildings. And the students there, these interdisciplinary students, they synthesized citizen narratives, they mind map actor networks, they did research, but they also created prototypes on how to change that situation. But not only the object, also the actions and the processes that were on the foundation of that problem. You see here on the upper left, you see diverse students who had to present their architecture or action network models to a banker. So all of those student teams, they created action network models around one of the 7 empty building typologies in order to design strategies to address the deficits, right? And the design output on the upper left, again, you see what those students did. They researched that building that you see, the action networks, all of the persons connected to it, but also the processes. And on the right side there, on the yellow strip, they, in this group, proposed spatial adaptations of an existing structure. And at the very end, we feel that the new generation of architects, we not only have to design, we also have to promote. So we made a citizen-led forum in a former prison. We proposed it through social and press media. We had a website up. We did a citizen forum and did several exhibitions.
Right. So in the end, it's kind of adjustable methodology, which is based on design thinking, you could call it. But basically, it's looking at the first principles of architecture. What are we doing? What are we building? Who are we building for? Bringing those people into a dialogue and becoming a little bit more of an architect citizen, you could even call it. So in short, we think this idea of opening up the design studio, taking it into the street, looking at the campaigns that we actually put out during the semester or during the summer school, trying to enable actors, student actors, look at interdisciplinary teams, getting out there, doing urban walks, in situ lectures, engaging in some of the key issues which are shaping our lives. Off studio campuses was very important. Basically, everything we do is political. We might as well do it in a creative way. We might as well use the tools we have as architects, and looking at design, agency, objects, and processes, and overall identify, conceptualize, and politicize these issues.